Thank you all for coming out this morning. My name is Deshae Agee, and I want to welcome you all to the Business Resource Seminar that is focusing on the development of Bronzeville and the businesses along Dr. Martin Luther King Drive. I'd like to introduce Alderwoman Milele Coggs to greet you all this morning and just to say hello.
I just want to welcome you all to the first Business Resource Seminar. You know, as I talk to business owners, particularly small business owners, and they talk about the needs that they have that aren't being met due to the current economic conditions, I think of all the resources that the city has available. And it was important to me in working with the Department of City Development to think of ways to connect the dots for business people with attaching them to resources that are available here. This is just one way that we have thought of to help connect business owners with resources the city has available for businesses, particularly in these economic times. My office has dealt with some business owners on a person-by-person basis, but I thought, why not have larger ways that we reach greater amounts of people so that whatever we have available here is available to you, and this is one way that we've seen fit to bring it to you. So I hope today you leave here with questions answered and gain some information that is well needed for the businesses that you all have within the district. And I would hope that these resources help your businesses to grow. Because as we look at joblessness and the loss of employment that we see on the news every day, I really think that smaller businesses are a critical component to employment in this city and in this district. So each of you play a major role in that. So any help that my office can be, the Department of City Development, and the City of Milwaukee can be to help make that happen, that is what we are here for. That is why we have invited you all here today. So I hope you get your questions answered and all of that. With that, I will turn it back over to Deshae and ask that you please enjoy yourself and be informed. Thank you.
Again, thank you, Alderwoman Coggs. And good morning and welcome to the Bronzeville Business Resource Seminar. Thank you all for making time in your schedules to join us. Again, my name is Deshae Agee, and I'm one of the Bronzeville District Project Managers here at the Department of City Development. Today we will talk about resources and tools that can be used to bridge the gap between where your businesses are today and where you'd like to see it 3 to 5 years from now. The economy, global and local, has been affected by decisions of a small group of people or small groups of people that had an agenda. Today on the screen, you see our agenda. With the support of Alderwoman Coggs and us working together, we can create a model economy within the Bronzeville district and along Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. To strengthen this small economy, we need private and public partnerships. Our agenda today is to discuss the Bronzeville district, the businesses along Dr. Martin Luther King Drive and near Dr. Martin Luther King Drive, strategies that we can use and implement plans to help this small economy grow, and the city resources and tools that are available to help make that happen. I'd like to start with giving you all an overview, an aerial view of what we call Node 1 of the Bronzeville district. Bronzeville is a larger area, but this would be what we call the Bronzeville Cultural and Entertainment District. This map shows West North Avenue from about Interstate Highway 43 and North Dr. Martin Luther King Drive. Within this border here, you see West Meineke Avenue, Garfield Avenue. You see this is 4th Street, and again, this is 7th Street. Enclosed within these red boxes here is property or parcels owned by the Redevelopment Authority of the City of Milwaukee, which is sort of the arm of the city that disposes of real estate. These parcels are slated for redevelopment into some type of use. There are buildings that once were there that are no longer there. Many of you probably have driven by and seen that. Now it's vacant land. We are planning to put those parcels out for proposals to see what type of development we can get. But again, some can say in this economy, how is that going to happen? We have a strategy and agenda to make that happen. On the western end, on this end, we see the proposed entertainment project. We're still working with the development team to develop this parcel here, which would include some type of mix of uses and a parking structure. On the eastern end of the district, you see the former Garfield Avenue School, which is being considered for the Bronzeville Cultural Center to include uses such as gallery space, retail, some type of commercial, possibly residential, and educational space. The exact uses have not been determined. That's also going to go through a sort of RFP process. One of the questions that had been posed was in regards to parking. Where's everybody going to park once this happens? And I say once this happens because it will happen. There are maybe some naysayers out there who may not believe the Bronzeville district is going to happen, but we are confident that this will happen. Parking has been a question. So if we're looking at parking here, that can cover a large portion of the commercial, the new commercial that's going to happen. We can also see some surface parking here. We also have we had a parking study conducted. The parking study was conducted in 2008, and it looked as far as 2013 and beyond. Parking accommodations are very important because we know if people can park either for free or for low cost, they'll stay in the district longer. And that's what we want people to do. When they stay longer, they spend more money. That's how we grow our that small economy I talked about, the Bronzeville district and the corridor on King Drive. Some of the ideas that came out of that were on-street parking supply improvement. What does that mean? More on-street parking, off-street parking improvement. That is parking that may not be directly in the corridor, but at other locations. I'll point out one of those that was proposed. Parking was proposed possibly between 5th and 6th Street in the rear of the new commercial development we foresee coming. So cars could come from King Drive up to 5th Street, park here, possibly angle parking, and also do the same thing between 6th and 7th Street. Probably about 30 parking spaces could fit in each of these locations. In addition to the parking structure here that would service maybe this area, and the surface parking here that can also service this area, you have parking that can service this area here. Parking and transit coordination. Working with either the transit company in some way or having some type of wayfinding signage saying this is where you can park, directional signage that says these are the locations that are free. This is where the parking structure can be located for those who are new to the district and for tourists that come in wanting to visit the Bronzeville district. Parking pricing. Now that might be meters, might be a 15, 20 minute, type of thing, kind of like what they have at Bayshore. It's a in and out type of business. You're coming to pick up food for lunch and you're going to leave. And enforcement of that parking. There are signs out there that say 2-hour parking now along the North Avenue corridor and also along Dr. Martin Luther King Drive. Enforcing what has already been regulated as what the parking is that's available may need to happen a little bit more than it is right now. That's not to say we're going to have people, the parking checkers, going out and just giving tickets, but as the district evolves, we'd like to know that the people that are there, workers have a place to park, people who work in the area, but also people who are coming to spend money in the area. And that's what we all want, people to come and spend money in the area. Marketing and public information. That can happen via brochures at area businesses. That can happen online with a map that says this is where you can go. So people who are from outside of the state or even in the city can see, well, I'm going to Bronzeville, where's the best place for me to go to park? Because it's a really jumping place. And it will be. It will be. I'd like to talk a little bit about the businesses that are currently in Business Improvement District number 8. That's the historic King Drive bid. And with us today, we have T. Whaley Smith, the director of the bid. T oversees a lot of what happens within the King Drive commercial corridor. On their website, I went and I found that there are about 137 businesses that are listed. Services ranging from food and beverage to convenience food, nightlife, financial institutions, professional services, child cares, a drugstore, barbershops and beauty shops, dry cleaners, the Department of Natural Resource Center, restaurant, supply store, hardware store. Pretty much anything that you need is on King Drive. Auto shops. Did I miss something? Somebody want to? Liquor store. School. We got more? Theater. Sounds like a lot that's happening over there. And my question is, how frequently are each of us and each of our customers going to those different places? And that's what we need more of. We need more of the people who are doing business with you to go to other people that are doing or other businesses that are in business in that area. I was thinking, and I came up with something, and I don't know if I'm going to try to brand it or what, but came up with this district as a one-strip shopping experience. One stop, one strip. More important, as I said, is to do business with those who are already part of your network and to grow that network of customers and businesses. That's an ugly word right there, right now. Many would say that's an ugly word, the economy. Many have heard and seen recession-type economies, but the economists of today are aware that this time, and they agree that it's something different, totally different. Entire industries are leaving overnight. Hundreds of thousands of jobs are being erased overnight through massive layoffs. We could cite many reasons. The former president's administration, possibly. No pun intended. We could say the war on terror had something to do with it. Could say that it was greed. Could say it was no real oversight of the financial services industry as a whole. Banks and mortgage companies willing to lend because someone else said, well, I can get it elsewhere. So instead of the normal 80 or 85% loan to value, instead of the normal 70% loan to value, they're giving the loans 100% or 102%, 103%, so that you don't even have to come to the table with any money. And I'm a real estate broker, so I can kind of read how some of that happened. We can also say it was overbuilding, speculative development that took place. You build it and they will come versus having a tenant in place and knowing that you have a tenant and knowing that that money's going to be there. Banks lost money. Developers lost money. A lot of people went under. Businesses lost money. Instead of expanding, businesses contracted. Hundreds of businesses. There's emails everywhere that says Circuit City and Linens and Things and, small mom and pop to, the big boys. All have downsized. Locally, we're being affected too. The closer to home is King Drive and the development of Bronzeville. Our agenda. Banks, again, have curtailed lending, and they have a wait-and-see attitude. I'm going to see what everybody else does. And that's really impacting the growth of our local economy. Ultimately, it boils down to profitability. And if I break those words up, it's the ability to profit. And that's what's in question. Banks' ability to profit, businesses' ability to profit is totally in question. Business models are changing. All types of businesses, again, considering, contracting versus expansion of their businesses. When I sold radio advertising a while ago, the Christmas time was the biggest time for a lot of businesses, for retail businesses, I should say. Service industry, maybe it was a little different, but retail businesses, that was the biggest time. And they counted on the Christmas season to make up money that they lost throughout the year. In 2008, they didn't get it. Too many jobs lost. The money isn't moving the same way. And right now, business owners are wondering if they'll be in business past June, past July, within the next 2 months, past the year. 3 to 5 years is a lot further away when you're running a business and you're looking to see just how to stay afloat. Some are seeking emergency loan funds. And because of the down economy, banks are skeptical about lending in any situation almost, except if you don't need the money. That's what I'm finding as part of the International Council of Shopping Centers Regional Planning Committee. Question is, how can you all flourish in these times? Is there light at the end of the tunnel? And I say there is, but it starts with a common goal. Success of the current businesses and new businesses. We have to continue to look at the district and make it successful. We have to work together as a unit with this agenda in mind. Increase development, increase occupancy, decrease vacancy, and decrease blight. Those are all important. How do we do this? By using our tools and our resources, collective tools and resources, whether it's financial tools, our collective intelligences, and networks and technology. Financial tools that the city has are MEDC, the Facade Grant and RIF Grant program. Our collective intelligences includes a complete knowledge base, which is yet to be quantified in money. Everyone here has a different set of backgrounds and experience. Do we have an accountant in the room? Do you know new tax breaks that are coming? We have an accountant in the room that can help us save on taxes. Is there any marketing professionals in the room? Is there anyone who's doing creative things like on LinkedIn or Facebook? Anyone doing that? Those are free resources if you have internet. They can tell you how they're staying in contact with people, their customers, their friends. They're encouraging them, saying, hey, I got this going on. Can you come? And they are not saying spend money with me, but they're saying come to my event. But it equates to spending money. The library is also available. They have magazines and books. All this is free that you can take and read and see the trends that's happening in your business or your industry. You have magazines that, like Entrepreneur Magazine or Inc. Magazine, that are giving all kind of ideas, and it's free online too. You can log onto their website, entrepreneur.com, inc.com, kind of find out what's happening there. Technology, using computers to help grow businesses. I'm sure sitting idle in many offices is this one big program that is major for business, the Microsoft Office Suite. How many people have that? I started off the new year with a resolution to see how much of the resources that I currently have I can use to get me to where I want to be at the end of 2009. Here today, part of the Microsoft suite, PowerPoint. I'm using PowerPoint to convey the ideas to you along with pieces of paper that I wrote in Microsoft Word in. But what are the full capabilities of all the programs we have? Microsoft Word, you can create a flyer for your customers to take with them. You can give them that flyer and say, hey, come back and bring a friend and I'll give you 10% off if you have a retail business, or give you 5% off. But don't lose your shirt, though, because you have to make sure that you're profitable at the same time. Think about, this is something I remember from radio, what compelling reason are you giving your customers to come and spend money at your place versus your competitors? Are you giving them a compelling reason? What about Microsoft Excel? How many people work with that, Microsoft Excel? That's a program you can use to track your customers, track the people who you're interacting with on a regular basis. I believe the contact manager for Microsoft Office is based on either Microsoft Access or Microsoft Excel, which, again, you can track phone numbers, email addresses, how frequently you're in contact with them, email. You can send them emails directly from these resources. Think about the customer's interaction. Think about your interaction with your customers. How frequently are you in contact with them? Do you know who your customers are? Is it a come and go type of situation where they come and spend money with you and you don't get their name? Anyone who comes to spend money with you, you should get their name and have it to be able to contact them. Sometimes people freely give email addresses. Sometimes they freely give phone numbers and address information so that you can mail them information. Let's think about Pick and Save. I'm just going to ask one person. If somebody can take out that little card that Pick and Save gave to so many people so you can get discounts, can one person just take it out for me? I want everybody to think about it, because Pick and Save has developed a model based on that little card there. Can I get that from you for a second? All right. They have little ones for the wallet and the keychain that the guy in the back held up. Then they have big ones like this. On the back of that is information, your information. You already gave it to them, most likely. You gave them your name, your address, maybe your phone number, or maybe you gave an email address. Pick and Save actually borrowed that. I won't say stole. They borrowed that from a Virginia-based grocery chain called Upcrop Supermarkets, and they pioneered that in the early 1990s. Now, Pick and Save uses it to track everything you buy. They know where to put certain products because their customers are buying it there, and they know what not to put elsewhere because nobody's buying it. Merchandising. You can do the same with the Excel program, just by getting names and phone numbers, being able to use that to stay in contact with people. Look at the internet again. Email is free. Many of you gave us, the Neighborhood and Business Development Team, and Alderwoman Coggs, your email addresses and phone numbers, just because I asked. Now we can keep you informed as to what's happening in the 6th District, along King Drive, with the second step of, or the second series of the Business Resource Seminar. By doing just a couple of these things that is being mentioned today, you may increase your customer traffic. You will at least develop a tighter relationship with your customers, and that prevents them, in their minds, from going to your competitors when they can buy the same thing from you. That's branding. That's how you brand your customers. And branding is all about relationships. Want to talk about creating a pedestrian-friendly destination. It's good for everyone. People stay longer in places where they feel comfortable. When people are concentrated in a particular area, business looking to expand decide, that's where I want to go. Because it's organized. It's a place where they know people are going to be at. New businesses are attracted to the area. All of these can help minimize the effect of the global economy on our little small economy in Bronzeville and along Dr. Martin Luther King Drive. So your business can thrive during this economy. Let's start looking at what was done in the past and what can be done in the future. And we're giving you ideas that you can implement starting today and take with you into the future. Talk about planning. Again, some businesses are thinking, I just want to stay afloat. But that's still part of the planning process, staying afloat. Once you reach that point where you figure you've stayed afloat, what's next? That's what we want to talk about. What you can do now, attend seminars like this one. Free seminar, take a little time, take some notes, implement some ideas later. Take advantage of them. They're out there. Business building events and networking. Hopefully at the end of this, before you all leave, you can get a card or two or meet someone who you did know and see what they do, because they might have some ideas that can help your business grow. Read publications like books, visit websites. There's a book called Selling the Invisible that I remember reading. And I think it's ideas that you're selling. And you're selling the idea. Maybe it's a product, but it's an idea. It started with an idea and it became a product. That's what you're selling to your customers. Whether it's school, a school is selling information to kids and parents. The relationships with the parents are important. The hardware store is selling product. They're selling plumbing products and electrical products and home products. But it started with an idea and it became a product. There's a website called allbusiness.com. Free. Online, www.allbusiness.com. I try to get on that every now and again because there's so much information that's out there for you all to take advantage of. There's online seminars called webinars that are free. They may be 45 minutes, but you can find something online if you Google your business and maybe put or your industry or your type of business and put webinar. So if it's a hardware store, put hardware store webinar. You know, just a little bit of information, and the internet is so broad, it'll pull all the websites for you. There's also what's out there called white papers. There are experts that would create, they'll take all of their information, put it in a PDF, and it's online. So you can find out just about anything you want online for free just about. And again, all of that, a lot of that is on, bless you, a lot of that is on allbusiness.com too. Let's look at past performance. What strategies worked and what did not? If you look at planning into the future, you got to look at what you did in the past. See where you are today and say, this is where I want to be. And how do you get there? Designing a strategy to get there is what's important. What strategies work? Try them again. If it's something new you're hearing today, try it. If it doesn't work, maybe fine tune it. Maybe it was something different that could have been done to make it a little bit more effective. And what did not work, either consider revising it or scrap it. Try something new. When we look at the future, it's unknown. Everybody's guessing. You read everywhere, say that the economy is going down, businesses, overall, a lot of businesses are scrapping 2009 and saying, I'm going to focus on 2010. That's what I'm reading as it relates to a lot of the larger retailers. But you all can follow economic forecasts, see what's happening. But locally, what you can do is look at your customers, because that That's your economy. That's your local economy. That's your small economy within the bigger economy. Stay in contact with them. Try to get them to come and visit you more and maybe spend more money with you. Also, when we start looking at planning, let's look at the resources that are right here and available. The bid. It's a great resource, a wealth of knowledge. Teagan and Marjorie and the team over there and the board. Lots of experience, lots of information. You can talk with them. Many of you are members of the bid. Great opportunity to share ideas. Capitalize on your current customer base. I can't stress that enough because that was how I stayed in radio advertising sales for 5 years. My regular customers. I lost some through attrition, but I gained up more through making up new business. And that was by being out there, by networking. I have a customer who said, hey, you know what, this worked for me. I would get a letter from them that said it worked. I take that letter as a testimony to another customer and say, they said this worked. This is their experience with this particular method of advertising and reaching new customers. Let's think about comment cards. Do anybody remember comment cards? Can I get a show of hands? Comment cards were a big thing. You go to McDonald's or wherever, they got the little bitty card to say, what do you think? You know, how do we do? What happened to those? Sounds like those are things that maybe need to come back. That's an idea that you can find out. What's your customer thinking? Where are they leaning toward? Are they going to are they going to your competitors now? Or are they coming to you, and why? Are you meeting their needs? Just some questions for you to maybe consider. Have their needs and wants changed? Do you know them personally? Do they know you? How much do you know about them? When I saw radio advertising, I looked at my customers and I would find out their wife's name and how many kids they have. It's relationship building. And people do business with people they like. The bid has a newsletter that goes out regularly. Great tool. Individually, you all can stay in contact with your customers, even if it's with one sheet of paper, just one. When they come into your business, take this with you, put it in a bag. They may read it. If it says something compelling for them to come back, they'll come back. If you're not doing it, you might want to consider it. What about new customers? There's social websites, again, like LinkedIn and Facebook, Twitter, MySpace. Anybody on any of those? You might have customers waiting for you there. Your customers might already be there, and you probably should be there too. Because again, that's one more impression that they're getting of you and your business. Again, this is all done in an effort to brand your business. Consider again marketing such as mailers and the low-cost alternative. I call email the low-cost alternative. Strengthen your partnerships. Do business with others that are already in the district and in the corridor. Again, 137 businesses within the bid per the website. Go and do business a little bit more with them. And create partnerships. These are the tools that the city can bring to the table to help you. Again, we have the Facade Grant and Retail Investment Fund. We have Lynette Crump here. Set up a time to meet with her, learn what might be available to you. And I'll go maybe just a little bit more into what the Facade Grant is and how it works. But again, you can talk more in detail with Lynette. Also, we have Marsha Toish with MEDC. They have different types of pools of funds that are available that you can talk with Marsha after. Set up a meeting, find out how MEDC might be able to help. The Facade Grant program, just to give a little bit, is a reimbursement program where an applicant submits an application prior to any work beginning. It gets approved by the Facade Grant Committee. The applicant does the work and submits the necessary documentation for reimbursement. The Retail Investment Fund is also a reimbursement program that grants funds for job creation, also equipment purchases. And job creation is what we need in this economy here. And by growing your customer base, getting new customers, you may need to add a couple more people, create more jobs. Contact Lynette in regards to the Retail Investment Fund. The Bronzeville Economic Development Fund is also a pool of funds that was created through the Bronzeville plan overall. Allows for a certain amount of funds to be expended for certain business expenses, and you can talk with me about those. And again, MEDC. This is what the Facade Grant Program does in sort of one bullet point if it's something you want to take away. It assists building owners and tenants with grants to purchase items such as windows, doors, awnings, landscaping, lighting, signage, and more. Again, for eligibility requirements, contact Lynette. The one thing I will say, if there's a building owner that is tax delinquent on any property that he or she owns, they wouldn't be able to access the facade grant funds, or if they have outstanding code violations. I wanted to use an example here about quantifying where your money is going and the return you're getting. From 2004 to 2008, second quarter, we analyzed the facade grant program. And we saw that for every dollar of public money that went in, $3.51 of private money was put in. $1 to $3.51. Are you all looking at, for each dollar you put in your business, what you're getting back in return? That's something to think about. Versus, and I tried to start businesses before I came to the city, and I stuck a bunch of money in, and I didn't get a bunch of money back. That hurt a little bit, but I knew I could take some tax advantages. I like accountants. They help you know a little bit about, if you spend this money, how to depreciate it and how to take advantage of it, and whether it's a shorter term depreciation or whether it can be an accelerated appreciation on products or equipment that you purchase. Just something to think about. MEDC is sort of one of the lending, I don't want to say just fully lending arm in the city, but they have funds available that are connected with what we do overall within the Department of City Development, though it is a separate entity. MEDC has direct loans, new market tax credit loans, brownfield cleanup loans, tax-exempt bonds for City of Milwaukee businesses for the purchase or renovation of buildings, equipment purchases, and in terms of the breakdown of the money, it's low interest, fixed rate loans. MEDC would take a 40% stake in the loan, the bank would take a 50% stake in the loan, and you as the business owner would have to put 10% in. There's a $500,000 maximum from MEDC. There's also just a little bit of other fees that's involved, just a little bit. Attorneys and out-of-pocket fees. The specifics on your particular project you can talk with Marcia about. Now look at the other resources you have. Again, you have the bid, you have websites, you have the network that's here and the network that you already have outside of the people that's here. You have the Department of City Development, you have myself, you have Ms. Crump, you have MEDC, you have Marcia, you have other resources here at the city. We have WIDA here. Can I get some hands from the WIDA people? We have WIDA here. Public-private partnerships. Is LISC here? Is LISC, anyone on the LISC board represented? You have other partners such as LISC that can work with you. Again, public and private partnerships. People have to work together. These are times where you roll up the sleeves and say, okay, I had this impression of you. Let's kick that to the side and let's work together. And also you have Alderwoman Coggs' office. Directly, you can go to the bid immediately. Myself, email, phone call. Alderwoman Coggs, email, phone call. Lynette, email, phone call. And we're here today. If you all have any questions on any of the information that we talked about today, either you can contact Alderwoman Coggs or you can contact myself.
And I want to introduce two of our staff. Edward Bryant, he's a senior underwriter in our economic development group, and he's probably the one you want to associate with more so within our group because of the businesses that you're in. Edward basically underwrites the deals. We have loan guarantees. We have about 4 or 5 different loan guarantee products that are available. And Edward can give you more information on a one-on-one. We don't do direct lending for our business lending, but we do loan guarantees that assist you in accessing money from banks or MEDC or other sources. Kevin Newell, Kevin is in our multifamily group. He's one of our senior underwriters in multifamily, and that's dealing with the low-income housing tax credits. I guess who's one of the most successful tax credit recipients here in the room? Wilfred Sanders. He's received 3 deals through WIDA and finishing or working on the 3rd deal through the low-income housing tax credits. So just wanted to give you a little information about other businesses that WIDA is involved in other than just single family, and we have staff here that will be happy to talk to you afterwards if you want more information. Thanks.
I'm with the Milwaukee Economic Development Corporation. I'm a loan officer. There's 2 other loan officers like me upstairs in this building on 2nd floor. And as Deshae mentioned, we make loans to businesses in partnership with a bank. So there has to be a bank willing to come to the table with us. But we give you a lower interest, and with us in the deal, you have a lower down payment. So that's a very, very good program.
You find the bank or we do?
Both. Yep, we can work with you on that. We partner with WIBIC. We partner with other resources in the area too. There's a folder up front with a lot of information in it from our organization that you can talk to, and I want to just focus on one new program that I've been very involved in. It's called BizStartsMilwaukee.com. This is in the folders. This is a new website that's been developed, and it has loads of information for starting a business. So it has business plans, it has all this market research, all these resources you need on starting a business. Plus, there's a calendar of events on there. So right now, you can go there, you can find classes on QuickBooks. You can find classes on how to survive this economy, how to use the internet to market and expand your business. Everybody kind of responded with those kinds of classes. The Small Business Development Center, WIBIC, SCORE, and all those classes are listed at this one location. Do you know that's the first time in Milwaukee they have ever been in one location? And here they are. So I encourage you to go there because I think there's some good things to help you through the economy as you're hearing about, and it is a struggle for everybody. So, if you've got a little time, you can get out and take a class or 2, and like Deshae said, and just kind of improve your skills and see if you can find an opportunity in this downturn rather than just looking at it as such a frustration and difficult time. So if you have any questions, I will be around later.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm just going to briefly go over the facade grant program. There is an eligibility requirement, as Deshae mentioned earlier. If you are the business owner leasing the space, the property owner cannot be tax delinquent, nor can the property owner have any outstanding code violations on any property they own. The facade grant program is the City of Milwaukee grant reimbursable program. Also, the RIF program is a reimbursable program. Basically, what we have you do is obtain 2 bids from contractors, getting cost estimates of each aspect of the work that pertains to the exterior storefront only. Once you get the bids, you also need a rendering of what you propose to do, and also you need to submit photos of the property in its current condition. Once we receive that information, myself or our staff architect comes out, we do a site visit, and then we submit the information to our facade committee for approval. There's a few people in the room who've been through the process, but we submit the information to our facade committee for approval. If it's approved, then we send an award letter out, and basically you can start the work. You cannot start any work until you're approved. Once the work is done, we come out, do another site visit, verify that everything was done according to what was approved, and then you're reimbursed. Simple as that. The same rules apply for the RIF, but for the RIF program, that's based mainly on job creation, and you also have to have a project budget of $25,000 or more, because for each full-time job that you create, we pay you $5,000 per full-time job created. So anything less than $25,000 doesn't give us that $5,000 increment. So as I was saying, the applications for the RIF and the facade program are up front, and also my business cards, and I will be available after the session is over for questions.
You know, I've been unabashedly supportive of the dream of Mr. James Cameron, the founder of America's Black Holocaust Museum. What most people are unaware of is that since April, since I was elected, one of the first meetings I had was with the chairman of the board of the Holocaust Museum, and becoming aware of their financial situation and the situation with the building. Deshay is correct in his analysis that the city of Milwaukee, through Rackham, passed a resolution that I sponsored, that the Common Council supported, that allowed us to acquire the building, the physical building that the museum now sits in. What that did is lifted a financial encumbrance of potential foreclosure off of the organization, as well as any holdings there may have been on their archives. So for $250,000, the city did a deed in lieu of a foreclosure in order to take the $380,000+ of debt that the museum had to North Shore Bank away, as well as any encumbrances potentially on the archives. Aside from that, the city, with the support of DCCD and the mayor, have been working with the board of the museum to see if there is any way to bring them back. As the Alderwoman for the area, I would love to see the museum return to Bronzeville. I think they are a critical anchor within the district, but choices for the organization will have to be made by the board. The city does not control, did not take over, did not purchase, none of that. But we are working with, in partnership with the board, to try to attempt to create strategic plans and all of that kind of thing to allow them to come back. Whether they ultimately will is something that I'm very confident will happen. But again, the city is not responsible for that, but we are diligently working with the board to try to make that happen. Additionally, Milwaukee County, through the support of Supervisor Theo Lipscomb and also Supervisor Thomas, voted with the board's approval on giving $50,000 to the Holocaust Museum organization to help them with planning measures, all in effort to help bring them back. So we are all working very diligently to try to bring the museum back. So the resolution, though, was merely for the physical building, because for us, it's a critical piece of land within Bronzeville that it just didn't make sense to lose. As you all know, Bronzeville is considered the arts and cultural district. So it is critically important to me to, of course, support the arts. But I will be quite honest with you, I'm also business-minded and economically centered. So I recognize that coupled with the arts and the entertainment and the culture, there has to be some financial anchors, which is why you heard Deshay speak of potential mixed use and residential and all of that kind of thing as well. Because the unfortunate thing we know is that what happened to the Holocaust Museum didn't happen in a vacuum. There are other arts-centered organizations within our community that continue to financially suffer, so that for the growth of this district, we have to be very wise about the mixture of the developments that come within it. But of course, arts, entertainment, and culture are the center of it.
I just want to echo Alderwoman Coggs. Thanks for all of you all making time in your day to come out. I know it's cold out there. It's like 6 degrees. It read in my car. And parking is sometimes hectic here in this area. But we thank you all for coming out again. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact myself. I have business cards available. I'll put them on the table. And we look forward to working with you all in partnership to help the Bronzeville district and the businesses along and near King Drive grow. Thank you.